What's up, girlfriend? I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Let's cheers to that. How are you? I've been running from the hurricane, from Florida to Puerto Rico, back to Florida, back to Puerto Rico, back to Florida. Woo! It's just been one thing after another. So really definitely fighting to balance work, life, and self-care. And here we are today, still going through our women's wellness workbook. I want to talk about girlfriend. Let's talk about trust and respect in relationships, and how we can break free from patterns, old patterns, due to being victimized. And maybe it's even just patterns due to our our ancestors, our mothers, our grandmothers, who have gone through pain, stress, troubles, trials, and tribulations that have caused us to react in ways that really is not serving our highest good. It's actually sabotaging our wants and our desires for true love. And so when we're in a relationship, we actually, those of us who are manifesting and desiring true love, husband material, soulmate material, um what are some ways, behaviors that we react in that actually pushes our partners away? And so we're gonna go over two from our women's wellness workbook. We are going over the healthy, broken, or toxic work page from your women's wellness workbook. And we're going over to do a self-assessment and admitting the truth and acting accordingly. Where am I acting healthy? Am I broken, or am I straight up toxic? And we're going to pinpoint where is it that we need to work on our personal um on personal development and improving our mindset, our behavior, so that we're no longer repelling what we truly desire in life. And so this is for those who are looking for love, looking for those who are looking to manifest their desires, their true goals into reality. So let me just take a look here. I just want to make sure that you can hear me, that I'm live. Oh, there I am. Okay, so girlfriend, let's talk about this. I want to talk about a situation. Let's go down. Remember that time when we first met, girl? Boy, I remember the time when my husband and I first met. Woo! There was no trust and no respect. Why? Because there was a lot of fear, a lot of doubt, a lot of subconscious fears of being abandoned. I don't know why I wanted to say a V word, but it's an A word, being abandoned. And so I want to talk about how how I have shifted my trust in my partner, and how that's shaped a different reality and my actions are more in alignment with my goals. So if my goal is to be happily ever after with my love, but my actions is not in alignment with that, because I am distrusting, I am struggling in believing in that person, and I'm the negative mindset is like assuming the worst in the person. That can be devastating in a relationship. So let's explore how trust manifests in relationships through three different lenses: healthy, broken, and toxic. So I remember when I first got with my husband, obviously he was my boyfriend first. Um, let's talk about trust. Like, when you do not have trust in your partner due to prior situations, whether it's with that same person or a previous person, you may have trust issues, and those trust issues stem from inner child, subconscious, and the subconscious level, and sometimes you wouldn't even realize how you're reacting. So I want you to pay attention on where's your trust level with the partner, with the love of your life, and how you're reacting, are your actions in an alignment to your desired goals for love. So, at first, let's talk about when I was a broken soul. Let's say my husband said, let's use the cell phone as the example. So, when there was no trust, and there was no respect and no boundaries, I would just grab his phone. If I found that phone, one time I got the phone. It was probably back in the day before there was like passcodes and all that. Grab that phone, run into the bathroom, shut the door, and start going through all the because I'm assuming the worst. He's texting somebody else. Who the F is this? Assuming the worst, feeling easily betrayed, just being totally toxic. And that is the very toxic version of me when it came to one, trust, and two, respect. I wasn't respecting his personal privacy, his personal items. You like my hair? And so, to me, and like now I'm like, wow, it's embarrassing. I can't believe I was like that. I'm like psychotic. But now I see how I have evolved, and it had to come through within myself. I had to build that self-trust, that self-love, and be the trailblazer within myself, even though there's a small chimney cricket over here thinking and putting in assumptions or thoughts, assuming the worst. And so it's fighting off the negative notions, the negative thoughts, and replacing them with positive thoughts, so that my actions can be in alignment with my true desires of the same marriage. I wanted to be married to him. I loved him. I already felt like I loved him from day one. But my actions of grabbing the phone, running into the bathroom, and who the is this, and who you talking to, and being toxic, maybe it felt like that was true love. It felt that this shows that I really care about the person. And maybe the male also feels that when a woman acts toxically, that's true love. That is not true love, girl. And we do not want, that's not the type of relationship that we're trying to manifest. We want to manifest, you know, the richest people can be depressed. The richest people can still be looking for peace. Peace comes within ourselves. And so I want to help you break through beliefs and actions that no longer serve a higher purpose, for those who are trying to manifest true love, union, and live and have peace. You don't have to be a millionaire to have peace. Money does not bring peace. Peace comes from within. So little things started. I found myself that because I didn't trust my partner, I was being triggered and reacting in toxic ways that was causing us fighting and discord and separation. But then there was this love, and so then we would come back and say, okay, let's try it again. And so trust and respect are two huge categories when it comes to relationships, and conquering the I gotta sneeze, and conquering positive ways of behaviors, so that we can create a positive outcome. So it came down to me being toxic when it came to trust and respect. But and then Where did that come from? It came from being broken, from being unbalanced, from being distrusting, struggling in believing in others due to self being victimized, or at least feeling like I was victimized. And when a person feels victimized, usually we will do something that's illegal or immoral, and therefore goes to grabbing the phone, when taking over their personal property and running into the bathroom clothes and trying to go through messages, and trying to or assuming the worst and looking for the worst. And so that's what you're actually manifesting. You're going to manifest the negative thoughts. And so it's a challenge in rebuking those negative thoughts and replacing them with trust, love, faith. Those are the negative, that is the devil. And so the only way that we can have peace and be love and light is being peaceful, trusting, of loving, and of light, and being sentimental and thankful and confident. And so all of this comes from within. I've been able to shift a very toxic relationship, still being in the same place that I'm at. I haven't, you know um it seems like you would have to get a divorce, get a new person, get a new, a new lover, start a new job, be a millionaire in order to obtain that. And I'm here to tell you that you do not. You can still be in the same place with the same person, with no job, in the same four-sided room, and have a 180 change, all by changing the way of you think, the way you react. And it comes, and it's a lot of practice. It's a lot of practice. And so I went from being that person that was toxic, grabbing the phone and who is this, and to then slowly kind of like just not caring anymore and just doing myself. And because in the subconscious I thought and assumed that he was doing something, then I would get on my phone and start messaging friends, and having side pieces just in case things didn't go right with number one. I have number two. And so, and if you start getting in the habit of that, then your actions are not in alignment for union, for love, for marriage, for a healthy relationship. And you know what? A lot of times, a lot of us don't even want healthy. We want, because we're broken, so we don't want. I remember when I was broken, I went on like a speed dating thing, and there was like, and not to say that all doctors are healthy, or but it was somebody who was educated. They were a doctor, and I was just like, no, because I didn't feel like I wanted a healthy man. I needed a broken man to fix me. That's how I thought, and that's how I felt. And I had to slowly start rebuking the negative thoughts and replacing them with positive thoughts. And so that's why essential oils it's been a lifesaver to me, because it helped me become more mindful of my patterns, of my subconscious thoughts, through my triggers. Why am I being triggered? What is the fear? I have a fear. Jealousy is a fear based on fear of being abandoned. And a lot of times those fears of abandonment come from stem back from being a child and being abandoned from our parents, or our caretakers. And then we in our core, we feel like we're not worthy enough, and so we become very toxic and hold on to our partners, thinking that they're gonna leave us. And because we're thinking they're going to leave us, that's what we actually manifest. So we need to break free from the triggers. How do we break free from those triggers? Is admitting the truth and acting accordingly. So I want you to ask yourself, when it comes to trust, when it comes to respect with your partner, if you're looking for love, if you're looking for marriage, how do your actions come out? Are you toxic in your relationships? Are you easily betrayed? Do you assume the worst? Or are you just like normal, or like, just distrusting? Most people are just distrusting, and we struggle to believe in others because we've been hurt over and over throughout our lifetime. Or are you healthy that no matter what you've been through, you're still gonna, like Jesus, forgive, trust, um, and give the benefit of the doubt to your partner. That is the that is a challenge. There is giving trust, being that trailblazer and giving trust even though you have self-doubt. And so that's the devil, the self-doubt, the distrust, the feeling helpless, feeling insignificant, being submissive is toxic behavior. I used to believe that being submissive was a honorable thing, was a holy thing. But now I realize that being submissive was just very, very toxic. And so, what are those inner emotions that you're feeling of insecurity? Are you feeling foolish? Are you feeling anxious or embarrassed or jealous, frustrated, angry, anger, guilt? And if you're having a hard time identifying those emotions, that your emotions, I highly recommend this tool. It's called an Itovi. This little machine will scan your frequencies of your body. It'll come back with a report and it's gonna say, Veronica, or whatever your name is, you need this essential oil because you are feeling what peppermint is feeling like confined, feeling like confined, like you can't get out. And so it helps you break free from the negative emotions, which is the devil, and you replace them with, through using essential oils, carries a frequency of vibration that gets into the part of your brain, the middle part of your brain that's responsible for emotion. So the right here, maybe we know right from wrong. I shouldn't be acting like this, but in the fight, flight, and freeze is in the middle. And so we don't take the time to be able to process that emotion and be able to let the emotion get to the front part of the brain and say, okay, no, I'm not going to react that way. I'm going to give them, I'm going to be relaxed. I'm going to be loving and trusting by being thankful and nurturing and confident and remain faithful regardless of uh of these notions, negative notions are in the back of my. So we start slowly repelling the negative and replacing it with positive in the eyes of God, with love, with trust, with faith, and say, no matter what I've been through, I want a healthy relationship. I want to be married. I want to be in a successful relationship. So therefore, I'm going to practice different ways of reacting and communicating, so that not only are my needs are being met, that my actions are in alignment for my dream goal and desire for love, for true love, for a marriage, for happily ever after in a successful relationship. So this I told you, this really helped me break into my, or understand my feelings, my emotions, my triggers, and be able to combat that with positive thoughts, because all those negative thoughts and the subconscious feelings of being victimized, it helped me go from being a victim to being a survivor, to being a thriver, to being a trailblazer. And a lot of times it's us women. We have to be the strong one, even though we see the man, they have the muscles and they're supposed to be doing this and this and that. Girl, I tell you, I promise you, if you start being the trailblazer and taking responsibilities for your own triggers, and repelling the negative notions with positive notions, your vibrations is going to like accelerate, and you're just gonna be like, you're gonna have pep in your step. You're gonna feel hopeful, appreciated, valuable, respected. And naturally, that man or your partner will fall into alignment. But you have to be that trailblazer in leading, in being a healthy person by trusting and giving people the benefit of the doubt. Nowadays, trust me, I have lots of reasons why not to trust my husband. And if I sat there and I said, "Well, you did this and you did that," my marriage is it's not gonna work. It's gonna end up in divorce. Now, if I step aside and I say, "You know what? You did that. I forgive you." Um, really, at first it was not even like I forgive you and trust you. I don't forgive or trust you. It really stemmed with trusting God, being in alignment with God and saying, you know what, God, I don't know why I'm going through this, or I'm learning through this. I'm being triggered right now through his actions, and asking yourself, why am I being triggered? And this tool can help you figure out, okay, what part of it, of yourself, what emotion is being triggered, and by pulling up that emotion, you can say, oh, well, that's because this and this happened to me. But then you can align yourself with the present and say, wait, that's not me anymore. I'm this, and that. Okay. So let me react in that way. And so practicing different behaviors, different ways of being, even though we have been hurt and victimized in the past. And I promise you, you try these you start to practice these new habits of trusting and loving, and like all of a sudden, like your partner will be like, oh, look, here's my phone, here's my passcode, oh, look at the messages. All of a sudden it's like you're a magnet. You bring in the healthy, beautiful, loving soulmate love that you've been manifesting. I promise you, try this. So instead of grabbing the phone and saying, who are you talking to, and who's that, and or just being broken and either ignoring the person or the situation, or being interrupting, like in the middle of a conversation. Well, who are you talking with? Well, what do they want? Well, it's like, you know what, have self-respect, give them respect that they are in the middle of a text right now, somebody called them or whatever, and when they're ready to share with you what's going on, give them the time for it to come from them. um and so I no longer, or I've really tried hard to like lurk around the shoulder to see who are they texting. I just tell myself, I trust them, I love them, I trust them, and I have no doubt. Because why? First, I trust in God. And if I really truly don't trust him, I ask God, God, guardian angels, send guardian angels. I'm calling for your guidance, support, and protection. And sometimes I have to enlist and call my angels to talk with their angels to get with me so that we could be friends. You know what I mean? I hope this makes sense to you. So, um, so now I practice on showing respect by give allowing him his personal time, personal what do you call that, um respecting boundaries with his phone, respecting my personal boundaries, um and leading in a way. If it's negative, if you're feeling confused, discouraged, helpless, insignificant, weak, insecure, foolish, anxious, those are triggers. That should be a big red flag for you, that there's something within you that's broken. and and I want you to think about, okay, what part of me is being triggered, and now how can I release those broken, triggered emotions and turn them into positives. And sometimes it's just trusting in God, trusting that there is something bigger and better for you, and that and and yeah, and but you know so then when there's like trust within yourself, so the way that you react is differently. Now you're not like hovering over their shoulder trying to look at their phone, you're not grabbing their phone, you're just calm. You're there on the couch and they're texting and you're like, And you just look at them and like you put a little pep into your step, you be a little flirtatious, and you give them a little kiss, maybe you say I love you. But and they will feel that confidence within yourself. And when they feel that confidence within you, they're gonna be like, oh, what was she doing? Well, let me show her what I'm doing so she don't think that I'm doing something like, oh babe, look, check this out, you know? And that is the power that we have, girl. We have the power to turn trust and respect um and react in healthier ways so that we can overcome being victimized, and we can shift and shape a better future for us through by being joyful versus being sad. I hope this makes sense to you. I'm still working. This is a work in progress, trying to get these lessons out. This one's a harder lesson. So, in your emotional wellness workbook, I would love to work with you one on one. If this any of this is making sense to you, is catching your attention, you know, all of us have an emotional energy center, and that's our chakras. Our emotional energy center is also aligned with our endocrine system. Our endocrine system is our hormone system. So a lot has to do with what we're eating, the time of the month, and all of that can trigger anxious, anxiety, stress, worry, fear, doubt. Apart from the the different scenarios that we've gone through in life that has led us to be distrusting and unfaithful and just um living living in the dark, in the low vibrations. It's emotions of jealousy. Jealousy stems from fears of being abandoned. And so if you are feeling jealous, if you're feeling frustrated, angry, guilt, let's talk one on one. Book your one on one call with me so that we can go over where are you broken? Where are you unbalanced? What is that emotion? And what would it look like if you reacted in a different way? I know it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of practice. It's taken years for me to get to the point where I am, and still I sometimes still fall into that fear, doubt, worry, stress. Is he cheating on me? Is he texting somebody? Is there, because nowadays we have the phones, we have, messaging. There's so many different ways, and it's so much easier for a person to cheat or to be dishonest. And again, it stems from self. If you don't feel validated, if you don't feel confident, if you don't feel satisfied, then you're gonna have um those feelings of like guilt, or just feeling ashamed, depressed, miserable, lonely. And that's the negative. That's the devil. That's the devil trying, the toxic energy that's trying to bring you down. So we need to fight that demon out, replace them with positive notes, positive emotions. If you're having a hard time identifying the emotions, again, Itovi is the perfect tool for you to help you get in touch with the emotions. The essential oils, breathing in the essential oils, help get to the part of your brain that's responsible for the fight, flight, and freeze, also responsible for our hormones, to help sedate, relax us so that we're not in fight, and freeze. And we're able to be like, okay, something's happening here. I don't like this feeling, but I'm not going to react in a toxic way. I'm not going to be like, well, who's that? I mean, there's been a couple of times where I really, really had to bite my tongue. And even though I thought 100% sure that he was texting some girl, or because sometimes, like my husband in the past, I'm like, oh, I met this girl at work, and oh, she's this and this and that, and I'm thinking she's like this beautiful thing. And then, but my toxic ways, I'm like, what the, and be all toxic about it. But when I change and I learned to like, oh, really? Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's great. And broken is like not even asking, like, huh, who is she? Healthy is like, oh, that's good. I would like to meet her. And when I finally came to that point where I was like, oh, that's great. I would like to meet her. Guess what? She was like this butch girl that was like a guy friend to him. And, it was like all those assumptions in my head was like, huh. I could have really made this a horrible outcome by acting toxic and jealous, and by letting fear and sadness come in through me, versus being a joyful person with who's relaxed, who's trusting and has like pep in their step. And but you gotta be patient. You gotta be patient because the devil will test you. The devil's going to test you. It's going to, and at first, when you're with the person who is toxic, when we're both toxic together, we think that reacting like that is love, and that's not love. Love is peace. Everybody wants to have peace. We think that having being millionaires is gonna bring us peace, and even millionaires can't even find peace. You have to find peace within yourself. And so that's the talk for today. I hope this resonates with you. Leave in the comments if it does or doesn't. And for tomorrow, we will go over the traits of conflict resolution and adaptability. So until then, stay beautiful and see you later, alligator. Bye.